everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is MTG Gold Dude. We're going to finish off our Nobles Digging Up the Past series with the last bit of, what is it? Lord of the Rings into Commander Legends. And some ancillary ones that, like Wilds of Eldraine that we've seen so far, and one more that I didn't even know about. So let's go on ahead and dig into it, starting out with Eowyn, Lady of Rohan, 2 and a white, 2/4. Beginning of combat on your turn, target creature gains your choice of first strike vigilance until end of turn. If that creature is equipped, it gains first strike and vigilance until end of turn instead. Huh. Equip abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. This is actually be a pretty good what's it called? Voltron commander. Landroval, Horizon Witness, 4 and a white, 3/4, legendary creature, Bird Noble. Yep. With flying, whenever 2 or more creatures you control attack a player, target attacking creature without flying gains flying till end of turn. Elrond, Lord of Rivendell, for 3 and a blue, it's 3/2. Whenever Elrond, Lord of Rivendell, or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, scry 1. If this is the second time this ability resolved this turn, the ring tempts you. Witch King, Bringer of Ruin. I actually like the art on this card. I'm not big into Lord of the Rings, but you know, it's not a bad set. For 4 and 2 black, it's a 5/3 with flying. Whenever it attacks, defending player sacrifices a creature with the least power among the creatures they control. Witch King of Angmar. I think that's how you say it. For 3 and 2 black, it's a 5/3 Wraith Noble with flying, and whenever 1 or more creatures deal combat damage to you, each opponent sacrifices a creature that dealt combat damage to you this turn. The ring tempts you. And you can discard a card and it gains indestructible, and you can tap it. Glorfindel, Dauntless Rescuer, for 2 and a green, it's a 3/2. Whenever you scry, choose 1, and Gryffindor Dauntless Rescuer gets +1/+1 till end of turn. Must be blocked this turn if able. Can't be blocked by more than 1 creature in this combat. Celeborn the Wise, for 3 and a green, it's a 3/3. Whenever you attack with 1 or more elves, you scry 1. Whenever you scry, it gets +1/+1 till end of turn for each card looked at while scrying this way. Arwen, Damiel, I don't know. Green and a blue, 2/2. Whenever you scry, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature, and for 4 and a green and a blue, you can scry 2. Prince Imrael the Fair. You can tell I'm not a Lord of the Rings person. For a white and a blue, it's the first time the colors have been in order so far. It's 2/2. Human Noble, whenever you draw your second card, each turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. It's actually pretty good. Denethor, Ruling Steward, 1 a white and a black. It's a 2/4. Beginning of your end step, if a creature died under your control this turn, create a 1/1 white human soldier creature token. And for 2, you can sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life and you gain a life. Theoden, King of Rohan, for 1 a white and a red. It's a 2/3. Whenever it or another human enters the battlefield under control, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. Actually pretty good. Not even gonna try. The Windlord, for 4 a white and a blue. It's a 4/4. The spell costs 2 less to cast as long as you've drawn 2 or more cards this turn. So it's a 4 mana 4/4 if you've drawn 2. With flying and vigilance, other birds you control have vigilance. Man, I gotta get this card in my birds deck. I didn't even know this card existed. Galadriel of Lothlorien, 1 green and a blue, 3/3. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than Galadriel as your ring bearer, scry 3. Whenever you scry, you may reveal the top card of your library. If a land card is revealed this way, you may put it onto the battlefield tapped. Elrond, Master of Healing, for 2 a green and a blue. It's a 4/4. You may scry. Whenever you scry, Put a counter on to each target target creatures, where X is the number of cards looked at while scrying this way. Whenever a creature you control with that +1/+1 counter on becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, you may draw a card. Faramir, Prince of Ithilien, 2, a white and a blue. It's 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, choose an opponent. At the beginning of that player's next end step, you may draw a card. You draw a card if they didn't attack you that turn. Otherwise, create 3 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. Wow. King of the Oathbreakers, for 2, a white and a black. 3/3, legendary creature, Spirit Noble. This is probably my favorite one because spirits. Flying, whenever it or another spirit becomes the target of a spell, it phases out. I actually have a friend of mine that built this deck, and it is just nasty. It's horrible. It just takes advantage of so many different things. Whenever King of the Oathbreakers or another spirit you control phases in, create a tapped 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Arwen, Mortal Queen, for 1, a green and a white. It's a 2/2, and whenever it enters the battlefield, it enters with a indestructible counter on it. It's pretty cool. For 1 mana, you can remove the counter from her, and target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. Put a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on that creature, and a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on Arwen. Aragorn and Arwen wed. I don't know why they had to put wed in there. They could just put just the names. For 4, a green and a white, it's a 3/6 with vigilance, and whenever they enter the battlefield or attack, put a counter on each other creature you control. Well, that's actually pretty good for 6 mana. You gain 1 life for each other creature you control. It's not bad. Aragorn the Uniter, for red, green, white, blue. It's 5/5, and with 4 abilities, it's just nuts. Whenever you cast a white spell, you make a human soldier creature token. Whenever you cast a blue spell, you scry 2. Red spell deals 3 damage to target opponent, and a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn, so it's like a giant growth. Gilrain, Protector, 2 and a white, 2/3, tap 2, tap it, and exile target creature you control. You may return that card to the battlefield. It's a blink. If you don't, at the beginning of the next end step, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control with a vigilance counter and a lifelink counter on it. That's actually pretty cool. Galwahir, the greatest of the Eagles. 4 and a white, it's a 5/5 with flying. Whenever it attacks, target attacking creature gains flying until end of turn. At the beginning of each end step, if you gain 3 or more life this turn, create a 3/3 white bird creature token with flying. Whenever this creature attacks, target attacking creature gains. So that just makes more flyers. That's like not bad. Denethor, Stone Seer, for 1 and a blue. It's a 1/3. And this is actually an Izzet commander because it has red in this color box. So it's blue-red in color identity. Enters the battlefield, scry 2 for 3 and a red. You can tap him and sacrifice him. Target player becomes the monarch and deals 3 damage to any target. Wonder if that has any effect on anything, like in a game. Arwen, Weaver of Hope, for 1 and 2 green. It's a 2/1. Each other creature you control enters the battlefield with a number of additional +1/+1 counters on it equal to Arwen's toughness. It's not bad. It's like a Walls deck. Be even better. Aristor of the Council, for 1 a blue and a green. It's a 2/4. When players finish voting, each opponent who voted for a choice you voted for creates a treasure token. You scry X, where X is the number of opponents who voted for a choice you didn't vote for, and you draw a card. No matter what, you're going to draw a card. Faramir, Steward of Gondor, for 1 a white and a blue. It's 2/2. Whenever a legendary creature with mana value 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, you become the monarch. Beginning of your end step, if you're the monarch, create 2 1/1 white human soldier creature tokens. The ship Cyrodiil, the shipwright, for 3 green and a blue. It's a 3/4 with the vigilance and the ability Secret Council. Whenever it enters the battlefield or attacks, each player secretly votes for a player. Then those votes are revealed. Each player draws a card for each vote they received. Each player who received no votes may put a permanent card from their hand onto the battlefield. That's actually pretty nutty. Elrond of the White Council for 3, a green and a blue. 3/3. And it also has Secret Council ability. When it enters the battlefield, each player secretly votes for fellowship or aid. Then those votes are revealed. For each fellowship vote, the voter chooses a creature they control. You gain control of each creature chosen this way, and they gain this creature can't attack its owner. Then for each aid vote, put a counter on each creature you control. Huh. Yomir, King of Rohan for 3, a red and a white. It's a 2/2 with double strike. Enters the battlefield with a +1/+1 counter on it. Each other human you control. Wow, that's actually pretty good. When he enters the battlefield, target player becomes the monarch, and it deals damage to its power to any target. Lord of the Nazgul for 3, a blue and a black. It's a 4/3 with flying. You have protection from ring bears. Wraiths you control have protection from ring bears. Well, that's a pretty neat. Whenever you cast an instant sorcery spell, create a 3/3 black wraith creature token with menace. And if you control 9 or more wraiths you control have base power toughness 9/9. Wow, that's blue-black spellslinger. It's pretty good. Cursed, and this is where we get into the new Wilds of Eldraine. Cursed Courtier for 3 and a green, for 2 on a white. It's a 3/3 with lifelink, and it enters the battlefield. Create a curse roll token attached to it, and it becomes a 1/1. Discerning Financer for 2 and a white. It's a 2/3. At the beginning of your upkeep, if an opponent controls more lands than you, create a treasure token. For 2 and a white, choose another player. That player gains control of target treasure you control. You draw a card. Huh. Talian's Messenger for 2 and a blue. It's a 1/3 with flying. Whenever you attack with 1 or more fairies, draw a card, then discard a card. When you discard a card this way, put a counter on target fairy you control. Lord Skitta, the Sewer King. I actually like this one. This one's actually pretty nutty. For 2 and a black, whenever it's a 3/3 rat noble for all you rat players out there. Whenever another rat enters the battlefield under your control, exile up to 1 target card from an opponent's graveyard. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 black rat creature token with this creature can't block. Godric, Cloaked Reveler for 1 and 2 red. It's a 3/3 with haste, and it has Celebration. As long as 2 or more non-land permanents enter the battlefield under control this turn, it is a dragon with base power and toughness 4/4 with tap a red. Dragons you control get +1/+1/+0 until end of turn. It's just fire breathing, but everybody gets it. Wow. Neva, Stalked by Nightmares for 2, a white and a black. It's a 2/2 with menace. Whenever it enters the battlefield, return target creature or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever enchantment you control is put into a graveyard from the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on Neva and then scry 1. I feel like this would be really good in like a Killian deck where you just use enchantments instead of like targeted sorceries and instants. Talion, the Kindly Lord for 2, a blue and a black. It's a 3/4 with flying, and it enters the battlefield. Choose a number between 1 and 10. Whenever an opponent casts a spell with a mana value, power, or toughness equal to the chosen number, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. So, choose 2. Yenna, Redtooth Regent. For 2, a green and a white. It's a 4/4. You can tap her and choose target enchantment you control that doesn't have the same name as another permanent you control. And if this is commander, you're never going to have one unless you're doing the rolls. Create a token that's a copy of it, except it isn't legendary. If the token is an aura, untap her and then scry 2. Only activate as a sorcery. Corvold is back, but he's not as good as he once was. Corvold, Gleeful Glutton. For 5, a black, a red, and a green. He is a 4/4 legendary creature dragon noble. This spell costs 1 less to cast for each card type among permanents you sacrifice this turn. Gnarly. Flying, Trample, and Haste, and whenever he deals combat damage to a player, put X +1/+1 counters on him and draw X cards, where X is the number of permanent types among cards in your graveyard. So if you have 5, you put 5 counters on them and draw 5 cards. Just not bad. Tegwin, Duke of Splendor, for 1 a blue and a black. It's a 2/3. Legendary creature fairy noble with flying and death touch. Other fairies you control get +1/+1. And whenever another fairy you control dies, you draw a card and you lose life. Not bad. And here we get into our next one, which is a sneak peek from the Doctor Who set with the Valyard. For 2, a blue, a black, and a red, is a 4/5, a legendary creature, Time Lord Noble. If an opponent would face a villainous choice, we don't have any of those yet, they face that choice an additional time. They can make the same or different choices. While voting, you may vote an additional time. This would be good in a aristocratic vote deck, a Marchesa vote deck, kind of sort of, if you must. But that is going to be it for today, guys. I really appreciate everybody that watches, that takes the time to drop a comment, shares it, and all my subscribers. But that's going to be it for today, and I'm glad we took this little journey to check out all where nobility has come from the past to the now. But that's going to be it, and I'll see you guys next time in the graveyard.